Welcome back. It is the Kentucky Select Chevy Dealers KSR preview. We are, of course, talking about the situation in Western Kentucky and the tornadoes and the devastation that hit our state. We're now joined on the phone by Governor Andy Beshear. Governor, thank you very much for taking a moment to be with us. I guess what I would say is give us the latest on where we are and just the devastation that occurred.
Matt, this is the worst tornado event in our history. It was 4 separate tornadoes hitting Western Kentucky. One of them touched down and stayed on the ground for 227 miles, 200 of them in Kentucky. I believe that our death toll is certainly going to be north of 70, probably 100-plus Kentuckians. I've been in Mayfield, and oh my goodness, both the candle factory, which is now 15 feet of rubble where cars ended up where the roof would have been, to a downtown area that no longer exists, to where my family is from, Dawson Springs, where a third of the town is gone, and 8 pages of single-space people who are missing. It is a very tough time in the Commonwealth, but I will say our first responders, our local EMS, our National Guard, and others are doing a really heroic job. They're out there doing their best.
I know you're the governor and you have a role in that way, but you're also, your family is from Dawson Springs. So you've now seen what happened in Mayfield, Dawson Springs, just on a personal level. What's it like?
It hurts. It is really painful. So from 1 a.m. when I was first in the emergency operations center to 8 a.m., I was trying to reach my cousin in Dawson Springs and not being able to get through. Hearing the report come in that we were going to have fatalities there and not knowing if that's my relative. Just seeing how hard the town has been hit. I mean, whole sections that you can't go in. One of the major businesses that just leveled. It's a place that I spent a lot of time growing up. It's a place where I know a lot of people, and it is a community that is hurting right now, but is working together to do our very best.
Let me ask you about Mayfield, about the candle factory. I've seen a lot of reports of the amount of people. What do we know? I mean, obviously there were a lot of people there. Do we know how many? Do we know, like, what's the latest there?
So this will be our single greatest tragedy in last night in today's event. There were about 110 people working a late shift there. They were able to rescue about 40 of them. We haven't had a live rescue since 3:30 a.m. I'm not sure that there are expectations, given what I saw firsthand there, that we're going to have another live rescue. So I think it could be certainly dozens that are lost. It's really hard.
That's awful. So the thing that everybody asks us, I mean, this is the natural inclination of people from Kentucky. All right, so what can we do? I know that will continue to expand in the coming days, but for people listening right now who want to say, okay, what can I do? What can they do?
Well, the first thing that you can do is if you're in these areas but you're safe, don't get on the road, right? That just clogs our roadways for EMS and others. The best thing that you can do if you're in the area but have power is stay in your home and let those emergency professionals do their job. Another thing you could do is give blood. We're going to have a lot of injuries and a lot of need, so your local blood bank needs your help. The third thing you can do, and we're going to have it set up by the end of the day, is we are going to have a dedicated fund connected to the state so there's full transparency, dedicated solely to helping families, response, and rebuilding in the Western Kentucky area. We will have that information and how to give out later tonight, but it's how, as governor, I assure people that want to directly help Western Kentucky families hurt by this incident, that's exactly where the money will go.
There are people who've reached out to me from all over the state saying, Matt, I've got this excavation thing. I could come. I know you. Is there a central point that if people had things like that could help, they could reach out, or how would that work? Or do you need it?
Well, what they should do is they should call their own emergency management group locally there. They are constantly in contact, especially with the ones that are hit. Louisville has sent down EMS and other professionals that were there on the most difficult site this morning, a big group from Fairdale Fire Department. We've got folks coming in from Indiana and others, and locally we have a lot of backhoes and other equipment. More will be needed. The Transportation Cabinet and the National Guard and the Division of Forestry have all brought in all their heaviest trucks, so they will be out there doing this too. But call your own local management, EMS, in your county. Your folks know who they are, and just tell them what's available if there's a need.
Last thing, I know you have stuff to do. You said earlier today this will end up being one of the saddest days in the history of Kentucky. It feels like that. Where do we go from here in these places? The city of Mayfield, what do they do next? It's hard to even comprehend.
This is the deadliest and the most devastating tornado event in our history. It will be, but listen, we are resilient. We are one Kentucky today. We are praying for each other. We will grieve with one another, but we will also rebuild with each other. We've gotten hit in the gut, and it's going to take time to move through it. It's going to take time just to find all those that we've lost, but we get back up every time we are knocked down in Kentucky. So we need to pray for folks out there. We need to wrap our arms around them, and we need to commit not just helping today, but in the years to come to make sure we get these communities back on their feet, and we will do it.
Governor Andy Beshear, thank you very much for your time, and God bless everybody working on this.
Thank you. I agree. And, again, if you're in any of these areas and you're safe, stay home. Let all those professionals do their best. And just like we say in dealing with COVID, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through it together. That's what we do as Kentuckians.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.